Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're here to do my top 10 PlayStation VR2 games for 2025. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video, and if you guys have not purchased your own PlayStation VR2, considering how cheap you can get it nowadays, I'll have a link down below if you guys want to support me and the channel to purchase that. But man, there's some really good games. There's always people trying to tell us there isn't any good games on the PlayStation VR2, and this list proves that not only are these games great, but there was even more that I could have put on this list. So there's always great games to play. Thank you for the third parties for keeping the PlayStation VR2 alive. Let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
The first one here coming in at number 10 is Ghost of Tabor, and this is a game that a lot of us have been waiting for to come to PlayStation VR2 for a very long time, and it finally did. This is a simultaneous PvP and PvE game, basically a VR FPS game that is like a survival game, like other extractor kind of shooter games out there that you guys may be familiar with. This is that game done for VR, and they have a variety of different scenarios that you can play in, where you have to sometimes avoid players and AI. You have a variety of different loot that you're trying to gather, weapons, attachments, ammo, medical, food, water, all the things that you would expect in an extraction shooter like this. You can go alone, or you can go, with your friends and stuff like that. You can customize your weapons, you can craft items, a variety of different things, and this game works really, really well in the PlayStation VR 2, and they did a really good job porting this game over. It was well worth the wait, and this is a game that keeps on, giving. It looks fantastic on here and is a really fun extraction-based shooter. If you have not played Ghost of Tabor before and you've been waiting for it to come to PlayStation VR 2, I urge you guys to check it out. It looks amazing on here and it plays really well. Ghost of Tabor coming in at number 10. Next one at number 9, Arken Age, and this is a lot of people's favorite game of the year from what I keep reading online. It's not exactly my favorite game of the year, obviously coming on this list, but it's still a fantastic single-player VR adventure game. It's set in a biochasm, like terraformed kind of fantasy world that you're exploring, open world that you're going through and kind of exploring through and meeting these different enemies. And the physics-based combat that you have in this game is really well done. You can climb on anything and climb all these different platforms and stuff like that. And it's really, really cool the way that they handle that. You have all these different weapons that you have that you can customize, and all these different things, and the enemies that you meet across the game are really, really cool. The bosses that you play in here, and the combat is definitely the standout in my opinion. Arken Age comes in at number 9. The next one here coming in at number 8 is Into Black, and this is a fantastic game here on the PlayStation VR 2. The graphics on here look incredible. They look really, really well done. And basically what this is you are basically a lone survivor, a lone wanderer on the edge of space, and you're basically in a first-person action adventure games, and you're on an alien planet, and you're trying to explore the endless darkness, and you're mining valuable resources. You're going to fight off, alien beasts that you try and meet and stuff like that, where you're exploring the different areas in here and basically trying to repair your ship and escape back home. But the graphics in here really, really are a standout. The story being told is really good. The first-person action, the variety of the gameplay that you're seeing here, it's really, really well done. It's a very unique game. It's not, a sequel to anything or anything like that. They did a really good job with this game of the story being told, the graphics on the PlayStation VR 2, using the unique features, the gunplay, the unique locales that you're kind of going through, the alien planet, like biomes that you're kind of going through. Really, really well done, really, really fun, and definitely not one to be missed by action adventure fans out there. This is definitely worth your time. Into Black coming in at number 8. The next one here coming in at number 7 is Demeo X Dungeons & Dragons Battle Mark. This is another game from Resolution Games, their latest one that came out this year in the Demeo franchise, and I think they knocked it out of the park. I've done reviews on these games, and this one is my favorite in the Demeo franchise because you're being told a story, and as you're progressing through, it feels like you're not just playing on a regular board, but you really feel like you're going through the different areas of Dungeons & Dragons, and then you have all the different classes and stuff like that, and the different cards that you kind of expect to have in this genre and in Dungeons & Dragons. And I can't wait to see what they do next when they keep adding different stories and stuff. But this is easily my favorite one. You could literally go up to characters and talk to them and, explore different areas and stuff like that. It feels like a very, very good Dungeons & Dragons game that added enough differences in this game to make it stand out compared to the other two. and definitely is my favorite of the bunch to play, and me and the friend that I play with both agree that it's a super fun game. If you love Dungeons and Dragons, you owe it to yourself to play this one. This is the closest we have to anything like it in VR. This is Demeo X Dungeons and Dragons Battle Mark, coming in at number 7. The next one here, coming in at number 6, is The Midnight Walk, and you want to talk about a really interesting game that you never thought would something like this would be made for VR, here it is right here. The Midnight Walk is a dark fantasy adventure game, but everything, as you guys can see, is built out of clay. It's a super unique game, one of the most unique games I've ever played in VR with this clay style thing. And there's nothing like having these enemies and things that you're kind of exploring the world and exploring the story where everything is built out of clay. Like I said, it's very unique. The graphics and the art style and stuff like that is not anything we've ever seen done in the past before. And not only is the graphic and the art style really unique, but the gameplay is also really well done. The graphics and all that stuff are really well done. And it really is a game that wherever you play this game, you should definitely not miss it, because it's such a crazy fantasy adventure game. And it's from the same people who made Lost in Random and Fae and Ghost Giant. If you guys are familiar with those games, they made this one as well. Really cool game, especially if you're into like the horror-ish vibe and that dark fantasy kind of vibe. Definitely one that I would check out. The Midnight Walk coming in at number 6. The next one here coming in at number 5 is Ghost Town, and I love my single-player horror adventure kind of games that we have here. And this is by Fireproof Games, the creators of The Room, which is a really popular horror game as well. And in this one here, you're basically in a haunted mansion or a haunted area where you have a variety of different characters, and you're trying to figure out, like, you know, living characters, dead characters, and try to learn the secrets behind all the different hauntings that are happening around here. You're doing different, figuring out different puzzles, activating spells, summoning spirits, all the different things that you would commonly expect on here. But the graphics in this game are really fantastic. The environment, the storytelling, and the way that everything is being told is really good. And if you guys are fans of, puzzle games, adventure games like this, horror games and stuff like that, this is one of the best horror games that you can play in VR, and obviously one of the best games that you can play in VR in general. Ghost Town coming in at number 5. The next one here coming in at number 4 is Reach, and this is from nDreams. I think a lot of us at this point know who nDreams is. They've given us a variety of great games over the years in VR, and this is their next one into that. And you are basically a hero, and you have all these extraordinary abilities, and you're journeying into a bunch of crossed realities that you're kind of exploring through, and you're making it, trying to figure out the story of what's going on and what's being told and stuff like that. I love the variety of weapons that you get in this game. You have things like the bow that feel really good, the sword, the gunplay and stuff like that, and the variety of what you're doing in each levels, the biomes and stuff like that you're kind of exploring and stuff like that, and the stealth gameplay is all here, and you get to take down these enemies, and it's just a fantastic game. It takes about 6 to 8 hours depending on who you are, and the bow is so much fun to freaking use, as you guys are looking at here. I love the combat, the way that it flows, the way that you're moving around, and you can switch easily from a bow to a pistol, throwing things at people. The combat just feels so fluid, and I love the way that this game actually plays, and it's really a fantastic game from nDreams. More of this from them, hopefully, and definitely not one to be missed, in my opinion. Reach coming in at number 4. Next one here coming in at number 3 is Thief VR Legacy of the Shadow. And I think a lot of us would have never thought that Thief was going to come into VR, but more importantly, that it was going to come into VR and do stealth probably better than any other stealth game that I've seen done in VR. This game is super fun. It's obviously the return of a legendary franchise that a lot of us know and love from the Thief franchise for the very first time in VR, blending that classic stealth gameplay that we were just talking about with the immersion of VR. You get to, invade all the different people in the darkness, and outmaneuver your enemies with actual stealth mechanics. And like I said, they're the best I've ever seen in any of these stealth games I've ever played in VR. You can pickpocket the guards, you can pry open different compartments, you can do everything you do with the locks to pick them, use your skills, explore the city. You can climb the rooftops on the city, sneak around back alleys, uncover the secrets in the dark, and a steampunk kind of world that you're kind of in. It's really cool. Every heist offers multiple path and play styles that you can do to sneak past those guards, and it's up to you to determine which way you actually want to do it. Really well done game. Thief VR Legacy of the Shadow coming in at number 3. The next game here coming in at number 2 is Wanderer, the Fragments of Fate. And I remember when I first played, I guess the original game, if you want to call it that, on the PC, and I was blown away with everything that they were doing in this game. And then they now released it's not necessarily a sequel, but it's like a remake of the original game, where not only did they go in and redo all the graphics and add a bunch of things to it, optimize it, bring it to the Quest platform and all these things, but they also added new elements to it. They added combat into the game, which some people like and some people don't. I happen to like it. I think it's fun. Adds a little bit of variety into the gameplay. They added new puzzles. They added, new environments that you're in. So you do get to feel like you're playing not exactly the same game all over again. You will recognize, of course, a lot of the parts, but there will still be a lot of new stuff for you to explore, and that's exactly how I felt going through it. And if you've never played this game, this is now the time to play it. I mean, this is the premiere edition of the game for sure, and it is super, super fun. This is like a retelling of a story where you're going through and it's using like backtracking and stuff like that in a really unique way, where you're bringing puzzle items from one area to another, and the locales that you go through are ridiculous. They're always new and always different, and you don't know where you're going to end up next. And the graphics, especially if you play it on PC or PlayStation VR2, will literally blow your mind. The game's all about time travel, and the way that you time travel and have to use unique puzzle items and bringing them to different environments and stuff like that is super unique and super cool. And like I said, the graphics and the unique stuff that you find in each of these locales that you're going through, depending on what year you're in that you're traveling through, really showcases the detail that they put into this game, and it's super amazing. Wander, the Fragments of Fate, coming in at number 2. And the number 1 game on the PlayStation VR2 has got to be Hitman World of Assassination. Even though they have ported this game over and they kind of fixed a couple of things on the PC, it still looks the best and plays the best on the PlayStation VR2, and that's a rarity for you to say that over a PC VR title, but it's the truth. And the Quest version is not good at all, in my opinion, compared to the other 2 platforms, so I would never even play it. But whenever I play this game, I definitely play it on the PlayStation VR2. It is everything you could want in a Hitman VR game. You have access to the whole entire game, all the different locales and stuff like that you can go through. The graphics are amazing. You can use all the different weapons and stuff like that you would expect. And it really feels like you're in the Hitman world. You have access to all your tools and stuff like that, but just in VR. And that means that you have infinite amounts of replayability, because we all know how big Hitman is with all the different locations that you can go through, all the different ways that you can kill contracts and stuff like that. It's all here, and it's amazing. It's done really well. They did a great job making this game on the PlayStation VR2, and it is the best version of it, and it is my favorite game to play on the PlayStation VR2, and it's my favorite thing to show people as well. Hitman at number 1. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my list of my top favorite PlayStation VR2 games that released in 2025. We got a good variety of titles that released this year, contrary to what a lot of people say, that PlayStation VR2 is always on the way and out, and it's not being supported and blah blah blah. Thanks to third parties, it's always being supported, and it's well worth the cost of what you can get a PlayStation VR2 nowadays at $250 or even less sometimes. I'll have that link down below, so if you guys want to support me in the channel, that'll be down there for you guys to purchase. Definitely urge you guys to do so. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time.